I love Kirk Cousins. I absolutely love Kirk Cousins, man. Like I remember when he was drafted, right? Of course they drafted RG3 first, right? But then they also ended up taking Kirk. And one of my friends, dude, who was older than me, he was my boss, my homie. I remember we talk about it. He's like, dude, one day Kirk Cousins is gonna take RG3's job. And me, right? Like I'm still I'm fresh out of high school. I was in high school? I was fresh out of high school, but I was like, nah, dude, you're crazy. I was like, Baylor, RG3, Kirk, who I didn't even know at the time. I didn't even know Kirk Cousins. I was like, Kirk, bro. I was like, nah, he ain't. I looked a little bit up on Kirk Cousins, and his, back then you just look at highlights. You're not watching film. And I was like, he ain't taking RG3's job. I was like, you're crazy. Sure enough, he ends up taking RG3's job. We see how RG3's career kind of went downhill. Kirk takes over in 2015. And then, honestly, Kirk Cousins has had a pretty solid career, in my opinion, for a quarterback. He has, right? With the Commanders all the way up until 2017. Signed with the Vikings in 2018 all the way up until 2023. Then gets that monster contract with the Atlanta Falcons. They would end up drafting Penix. And things got weird right away as soon as they drafted Penix. It was almost as if like, oh, damn, maybe they didn't have a conversation with Kirk, right? And so now he's signing with the Oakland Raiders, right? And this new deal with the Raiders is a monster one, but it's only like 20 million guaranteed, right? So it's like optional for them to like keep him. Probably they're going to be drafting Mendoza, but then they have their backup QB basically there, right? So they have assurance. They have the stopgap quarterback there. Now they're gonna bring in most likely Mendoza, but they have Kirk back there, and honestly, I think it's a great move. I think Kirk Cousins is. Did you watch him this last year? It's not the same old Kirk that we used to watch, right? Like he can't move as much. Honestly, can't throw like he did. But if you watched him in some of those Falcons games last year, it was like, holy shit, Kirk Cousins. He can still kind of play, dude. He can still kind of play. And even going into this year, a lot of people are like, Kirk is out, But I'm like, Kirk can still kind of play, man. He's not like he was, but that's a guy that you absolutely want in the quarterback room. And there were other teams along with the Raiders who probably wanted Kirk as their backup quarterback. But with kind of his profile being a backup quarterback, you're going to kind of have to pay him some money, right? Like, you're not getting this guy for cheap. And like I've been reading and I've been seeing things. There are plenty of teams that wanted or would want Kirk Cousins in their quarterback room or as a backup. So many teams, and it's just crazy. It just goes to show the value for a backup quarterback. And I feel like there's different levels when it comes to backup quarterbacks, but Kirk Cousins, bro, just a low key underrated dope ass career, dude. And I mean, let's just go through his earnings, right? So like in 2016, for some of you younger guys, the Washington Commanders, they gave him 2 franchise tags. Yes, they tagged him 2 times. 2016, 19 million, pretty much 20 million 1 year. 2017, 24 million franchise tag, right? And the Commanders, they were just weird at the time about like signing him. They didn't want to keep him. They should have, in my opinion. They really should have, but they didn't end up doing it. He goes in 2018 to the Minnesota Vikings, 3-year deal, 84 million, right? Fully guaranteed. I remember people were tripping at the time. In 2020, signs a 2-year extension, 66 million, 61 million guaranteed. Then with the 2022, he signs a 1-year extension for 35 million, fully guaranteed, payout 35 mil. And then 2024 is when he signed with the Atlanta Falcons and he got that monster contract. Everybody's like, holy shit, Kirk keeps getting away with it. But I'm like, hey man, quarterback is a premium position. All right, you gotta fork out the money for that shit. You know what I mean? So the Atlanta Falcons give him 4 years, 180 million, 100 million guaranteed, $50 million signing bonus, an average of 45 million per year. And then they went and ended up drafting Penix, and then it was almost like a Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz type situation. You could just tell the vibe was off with Kirk when they ended up drafting Penix. Because just from everything I read, I could be wrong, but it didn't really seem like Kirk Cousins was really like in on it. But I could be wrong. I'm not saying fully for sure, but just from what I remember seeing and hearing, it was like, I don't know if Kirk was in on it. So he's there, you know. The Atlanta Falcons, he ends up leaving there, and now the Raiders have him now. And like I said earlier, I think this is great. I think this is great. And in this new deal, Kirk Cousins, 5 years, 172 million, and it's really misleading, right? Because it's 20 million fully guaranteed, and I bet you the Falcons are probably still paying him too, which is insane. But average of 34.4 million per year. It says payout 172 million. That's not the case. Like there's just a lot of things within the contract. Like they're not for sure paying Kirk a lot of money. And you know, with them bringing in Mendoza, a young quarterback, we'll see how long Kirk is there. But it just puts a smile on my face. I mean, dude, Kirk is out here getting M's. All this dude has been getting all his career is so many M's, and people are always like, he's finessing him. His agent's insane. But I'm like, you know, with a guy like Kirk Cousins being your backup quarterback, I think you're gonna fork out some money. I think you're gonna fork out a lot of money. Like some of the backup QBs we've seen in the past that kind of like don't play a lot. They're kind of just there. They get a monster contract. It's like, all right, like what the fuck, right? But like Kirk, it's like, hey, with Mendoza, we don't know if they're gonna start him right away. We don't know if they're gonna sit him. We have no idea. But hey, if you can have a guy like Kirk who he's not terrible. Like I said, he played pretty good for the Falcons this past year. Like I would love to have him, especially if you have a number 1 overall QB. You don't know how he's gonna play, right? And he obviously needs to get better. He needs to improve. But having a guy like Kirk in there, a situation where Kirk knows exactly what he's going into, not like the Atlanta Falcons situation. I bet you're getting a Kirk Cousins with a great attitude and a guy that honestly is just super swaggy, bro. Like, let's be real. Like, Kirk Chains with the chain around everything, bro. His teammates love him everywhere he goes, it seems like. So I love it. I love it for the Raiders, and this is yeah, I love Kirk Cousins. But you guys let me know what you guys think down in the comments about Kirk, his overall career, contracts he's got. Let me know down in the comments. Yeah, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to your boy. All we do is talk football. Love to hear from you. But yeah, appreciate you watching. It's your boy Shady Looking. I'm outie. Deuces.